Hi there. I'm making notes. Closeness. Agreement. How would you like to understand people? Today I'm going to tell you the secrets to understanding people. Um, there's actually things you have to do to understand people. Um, and for them to understand you. And there are three little components, and you can work them together in unison. You can't just have one sitting there and the other two going great because it works like a three-legged stool. Of course, that's not really a stool, that's just my fingers. Closeness, agreement, and communication. So if you don't have the ability to communicate with people, oh, I can define these things for you too. Communication is where you actually get an idea across to somebody else, and that somebody else actually acknowledges back to you that they do understand what you just said. And that goes two ways. Because if you just sit there, I don't know if you ever talk to somebody and they just don't want to talk to you. So you're rambling on and they're going, maybe they're not even paying attention. Maybe you don't get an answer. And then when you ask a question, it's kind of like, did you even hear what I said? But if you say something and they go, and they really look like they got it, then you get this confirmation that the idea did get to them. Hey, that's great. So communication is actually two ways, even though you're doing most of the talking. The other leg of this three-legged stool is agreement. And that's in order for having understanding, you have to have agreement as well as communication. So when somebody says something to you, if you strongly disagree with them, you're putting up a barrier and you don't want to accept that idea. So you have to kind of like work on something that's kind of mutually um, ex- uh, agreeable. All right. So you have to find some point of agreement here, even if you're agreeing to disagree, which I really hate that term, but at least it doesn't reject the communication, because you need to have that communication and you have to have some level of agreement in order for this thing to work. The next step is closeness. Believe it or not, it's an actual distance. If you can imagine, I see this on TV sometimes where there's an interviewer and a guest being interviewed, and they seem to be about 12 feet apart, and maybe there's a little table in between or something. But these big, comfortable chairs, but there's so much distance between them. It's like they really don't like each other, and it's really seemed to be a really stressful kind of an interview. And that's just because they're not near each other. So if you could get in proximity to somebody without scaring the heck out of them, you will have an increase in understanding. Again, it's kind of like rejecting the communication. Here, you stand 10 feet back from me. I don't want your communication. So it's an actual distance, and you can feel that when you're really talking to somebody. It's like the distance, even though you're not moving, it's like the distance is closed in, and you're really all one-on-one with the person, and you can really feel like you're communicating well. So there's that feeling of closeness when you're communicating well. And then if you're not rejecting the ideas or the whole subject of the conversation, then you have agreement. So between these three things of actual closeness and proximity, agreement on some level that you're not rejecting each other's ideas, and that there is something going back and forth called communication, now you have the three steps, the three things that make up understanding. Now, if you have something where a situation where you just are walking away and you say, I just don't understand this. I can't understand this person. Or I don't know why this person just is not understanding me. Well, check these three things. Are you at a distance so that they're rejecting your communication? Is there a disagreement with the basic things that are being said? And is there actually anything actually being communicated? Or is one of the parties just really just shutting down, shutting up? So if you find any of these things that are out of whack, you can increase it. So if you're finding that your the conversation isn't going well, see if you can shorten up the actual distance between you and the other person. See if there's more mutual grounds for agreement that you could be talking about, and actually continue the conversation going both ways. So if they're not talking, you kind of like get them to talk. So we have the two-way conversation of ideas, and the whole underlying concept is based on some sort of agreement, and then you're actually physically within proximity of each other. So if you're finding that the conversation is a little stressed, or you're losing ground with them, check that out. See if you can work on those three things, and you can improve each one gradually, and they all work together like your three-legged stool. All right. So there you go. So that's how to increase understanding. 3 easy components. If you like this video, check the little there with my one-legged stool. Check the little box, the subscribe box. Comment down below. Share the video. I'm sure you would really like to have this spread around, because share it. Okay. So, and then, and I got, you can go to selfimprovementmethods.com/go and get a very nice little present from me, a free ebook. And I'd really like you to have that. And enjoy your newfound increase in understanding. All right. Thanks a lot, and make it a good day. Bye.